Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Miss Envy, where we explore my strange and mysterious little algorithm that is the TikTok kind. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab something nice to drink or eat, it's up to you, and let me guide you through some entertaining videos. Right, for our first one, ever heard of those Stanley cups? You know those water cups that all the girls walk around with? My daughter asked me the other day at the mall, Mom, why is everyone walking around with one of those mugs, cups, things? And I said, my lovey, it's a fad. Someone must have made a big deal out of it. A celebrity must have promoted it in some way, and now everybody's going to have one. And this is such a repetitive thing. If you look back in history, there was always that one thing. Like I think for me, it was the Tamagotchi. Had to have one. What else was it? Had to have a Billabong t-shirt or what were those other surfer brand backpacks. There's always something that everybody has to have. Yep, this is now the Stanley Cup, but I did not know this is the reason why. Check it out.
Did we ever talk about the Stanley Cup theory?
Stanley Cup?
Those cups that all the white girls carry around everywhere, right? Yeah, Stanley Cups, that's a massive trend. But you know why they got so popular?
No, why?
It's all because of this one TikTok video. This video showed a car that had caught fire, completely ablaze, right? But inside, in the center console, there was a Stanley Cup. It didn't melt, wasn't damaged at all. They opened it, and there were still ice cubes inside the cup, right? But the theory goes that this video, that viral TikTok, where the woman explained everything, was actually a marketing stunt. Shane Dawson even tested it out. They took a Stanley Cup, put some ice in it, and threw it into a fire pit. Within like 5 minutes, maybe 10, it started melting. The top part was really melting. The metal was getting burnt up, right? And when they opened it up, it was just water inside. So the whole thing, the whole viral moment was fake. So that video that went viral, pure marketing.
All right, so just goes to show what marketing can do, and people are willing to go to any lengths to get that reaction, right? Speaking of marketing, there's a reason I'm pointing out the word marketing. What do you think of the next video?
Only after seeing Joe Biden's backward glance and smile did people realize he had deceived the whole world. Who would have thought that Biden might be Trump's greatest asset in getting elected? Even a movie wouldn't dare depict this. Since becoming president of the United States, Joe Biden suddenly seemed to become a fool. He managed to call the Ukrainian president Putin while speaking to Zelensky. He could even be seen shaking hands with the air, making everyone think Biden had developed Alzheimer's. Even more baffling, Biden tripped 3 times in a row going up the stairs, causing many to question if he could handle the presidency. While this may have fooled the average person, it likely didn't convince other politicians. Then Biden pulled his ultimate move. He even publicly had an accident in front of everyone. At this point, everyone believed Biden had truly become a fool, as no president would degrade his own dignity like that. So, on the eve of the election, even if Biden wore a Trump supporters hat at an event, people thought he was just joking. Little did they know he wasn't actually foolish, but was simply putting on an act. Biden finally dropped the act only once Donald Trump's lead had grown. Suddenly, his movements became nimble, and he could even jog, looking full of energy. Even his wife, Jill Biden, wore a red suit to vote. It must be said that Biden is not only a top-tier politician, but also a top-tier actor.
Okay, so this totally boggles my mind, but it kind of goes with what I've been suspecting. I have this theory that all politicians are on the same side, that really we don't have a true democracy no matter where we are in what part of the world. And this supports that. Biden pro-Trump? That doesn't make any sense. Speaking of Trump, this next video is quite a shocker.
Really trying to understand, why is Elon Musk going to the Middle East to ease tensions with Iran? The New York Times, PBS, CNN, they're all raving about it. The American people re-elected President Trump because they trust him to lead our country and restore peace through strength around the world. And of course, I want peace as well as everybody wants peace, I'm pretty sure. The question is, who is the source of peace?
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
I think a lot of people forgot that the Israel Foundation visited Trump at Mar-a-Lago to present him with the menorah as an award for his efforts to make peace in the Middle East. The menorah inscription calls Trump the Prince of Peace, including the nation of Israel awarded him with the crown of Jerusalem, the title of the Prince of Peace. The last time I checked, there's only one person worthy of that name. A prophecy in Isaiah 9 tells us that for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. That isn't Trump. In February 2018, an Israeli organization, the Mikdash Educational Center, minted a temple coin bearing the image of Donald Trump alongside King Cyrus, a Persian king who the Jews refer to as a Messiah, even though he wasn't Jewish. A lot of people haven't seen this coin before, and to be honest, I hadn't seen it either because the mainstream is not talking about this. These are the things that if you want to pay attention to what's really happening in the world, you've got to go down the rabbit holes to do the research. Most importantly is to open up the Word of God. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. I'm not saying that Trump is the Antichrist, but when you pay attention to the details of a handshake like this, things seem to be aligning in a very prophetic, biblical way. But look, I'm just a conspiracy theorist who believes that Jesus is the truth, that the Word of God is our map and our guide to our present-day world and to our future. But ultimately, you've got to do the legwork and research yourself to see what is true. Or more importantly, who is true.
Well, isn't that the big question? What is true anymore? Look, if you know anything about cloning, you'll know that if let's say for argument's sake, remember this is for entertainment purposes only, let's say for argument's sake Biden was a clone and he just had to play a part in the elections to make it seem like there was a democracy so that there wouldn't be chaos, because, you know, if American people were told they didn't have a choice and they suddenly turned into a communist state overnight, there would be absolute chaos. So what if Biden and them, the bad guys, were taken out a while back and they were just replaced with clones that played the part? I mean, that first video of Biden leans in that direction too. It's just a theory. It's what some folks have been saying online. I've got no clue, of course, and I have no opinion as well. I mean, I'm just here delivering some videos. I'm speaking on behalf of the algorithm, people. If you want to sue me, sue my algorithm. Oh, that's not even a joke. At the moment, apparently in the UK, a law is being installed, I don't know if it's gone through yet, that you could be sued for just viewing incriminating evidence or anything. Perhaps incriminating evidence isn't the correct term. If you're busy scrolling on TikTok like we all do and you accidentally come across a video that speaks against the state in any way or is conspiratorial and a threat in any way, you get arrested. I'm not even talking about sharing or downloading that video or doing what I'm doing here. I'm talking about just seeing it. Like, let's just say on your For You page it jumps up. You could get arrested. I don't know why I had to bring that up now, but I thought while I'm on it, I might as well just add that in. But yeah, who is Trump really and who is Biden? Are they all just a bunch of actors? Is this all just a movie? Right. This next video is pretty interesting. This guy isn't even, and he'll say it to you, he's not a conspiracy theorist, but he came across the following. Check it out.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories at all, nor in time travel or anything like that. But I did show a church with an image of what looks just like the newly elected president of the United States on it last week. And now I'm in the city of London and I'm looking towards Trump Street. And the bizarre thing, which you notice if you walk along Trump Street to the end of the street, as I said, no conspiracies at all. I'm not that sort of person. But look at the street that's right next to it. If you follow Trump, then the trail leads you all the way to Russia. So what do you think of that? Conspiracy, accident, or maybe time-traveling history? Who knows? I'll show you now the image of Donald Trump on the church in the city of London, in case you haven't seen it before as well. So this church has an image of Donald Trump on it. It's from the 15th century. I look up this gentleman here, look really closely. It can be no other than the Donald himself. And yet this is some 250 years old. How did they know?
You know, this guy's just randomly walking through London and comes across that. Yeah, I know. And Trump's face is on a coin. Like I said, it's probably all just a movie, right? All right. So for the millennials on my channel, this is for you. Enjoy, because this is how I feel right now. Right? That's how we all feel right now. Look at what we've gone through, and there's another video that's coming later that will totally fall into place with that. Right. All I've written for the next video is, did you know?
What's a weird fact that keeps you up at night?
You cannot become enlightened because you already are enlightened. But your higher self, your Ubermensch, your Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call that, the potential for enlightenment within is already there. There's nothing missing. There's nothing you need to add. You're already entirely all of yourself. There's really just a bunch of stuff you're clinging to that you need to strip away. A bunch of fear or pride or guilt or shame or vanity or anxiety. You don't need to escape a matrix. You don't need to ascend to a higher dimension. You're already in every dimension that you could possibly have access to all at once. It's just about what you're focusing your attention on. You don't need to escape the matrix. You are the matrix. You are your own cage. It's not about breaking free. It's just about letting go.
Isn't that interesting? We're already there. And we've been told by some pseudo-spiritualists that we have to do all this inner work. Meanwhile, we're already there. We are the matrix. I agree highly with what he said, though. Not that I didn't agree with anything else, but you are your reality and you decide what happens. So, and you are what you focus on. Hope I'm not focusing on the wrong things. It's okay. I'm able to smile about it, so I must be on the right track. Anyway, for the next one. Apparently aliens come from the ocean. We've touched on this subject. Let's touch on it again.
You can be Aquaman.
I don't want to be Aquaman. He sucks.
I told you the ocean was the real outer space. A couple years ago, an independent researcher named Tyler Schmerkenhieser designed and engineered a one-of-one submarine with an adaptive hyperalloy composite hull. To prove it, guy was obsessed, believed the concept of the ocean floor itself was a lie. Stuck a camera on the front of the submarine and set off into the unexplored depths of the Mariana Trench. And Buddy, the species he'd captured on these videos, were things that have yet to be explained to this day. But instead of finding the seafloor, he discovered what he described as an abyssal vortex, a swirling black whirlpool that no previous expedition had ever encountered. Said that by the time he'd gotten through it, he rose up to lands that he'd never seen before in his life. Saw these strange human-like beings standing up on the shore. Was like this upside-down world, accessible through vortex canals in the depths of the water.
You know, at this point, all I keep saying is where are the aliens? Show us the aliens. And speaking of millennials, this is exactly how I feel.
Child. Anyway, so
that's how we feel. For the next segment, we're going to be talking about something that I only discovered this week thanks to a friend of mine. She sent me a video on this subject, and I have been fascinated ever since. As you know, this channel is all about the weird and the mysterious, like ghosts especially. And if ever there was a material that ghosts could be made from, it would be this. Fascinating stuff. It's just unbelievable. Check it out.
I have a sample of aerogel.
Really?
What the is aerogel?
It's like 99.9% air, right?
Yes, higher than that. Okay? Aerogel is the most ghost-like solid substance ever spun.
Really?
Yes, and it's used for NASA, and the aerogel is has many applications. But one of the ones that we care most about is you put that on a spacecraft, on a space probe, and as it flies through a comet's tail, particles of the comet enter the gel, and it slowly stops it so that it's intact by the time you bring it back and then analyze it.
Oh my God.
Okay. So here it is.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
I said it's like a ghost.
It does look like a ghost.
Okay.
You brought a tesseract
Oh,
out.
Hang on. Hang on.
No.
Hang on. Way.
Oh my. Okay, that is one of the coolest things I've
It is
ever
like
seen.
ghost. It's actually solid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not flexible.
Right.
It's very brittle.
It is science cotton candy.
Don't eat it, Chuck. Okay, here we go. Come here. Ready? That is aerogel.
Look at that.
That's
I trust you. It's like a ghost.
that is
so
so like
Casper
a ghost.
were made
It's
of
really
anything.
bending my
Casper would be
brain.
made of
If
aerogel.
Casper were made of something.
Is this how neutrinos talk about Earth?
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
That was very good. Neutrino Earth is like transparent to Earth.
Right.
It might be the lowest density solid stuff ever because it's not. I mean, it's volume filling strands of molecule.
That is great.
So this is aerogel, and I have a whole cube of
That
it
is an
here.
incredible collection of aerogel.
So I am honored that I could show Adam something he'd never seen or touched before.
Nice.
And I show you something you didn't even know existed.
It's so true.
It also has highly insulating properties. It's like one of the most insulating things ever known. And the way they make it, they have some polymer chain that they spin up, and it's this solid thing, but then they evaporate all the liquid. And what's left are the molecules that flesh out the volume that the liquid once occupied.
Fascinating stuff. I watched another video today on YouTube where this guy covers himself completely in this stuff, then goes into super, super cold, like snowy mountain-like area type place. English, Natalie, English. Where there's water, ice cold water. He gets into the water. Number one, the water doesn't penetrate. In other words, he doesn't get wet. And number two, he doesn't get cold. It's highly insulating. And it's made 99.9% of air, and the remaining 0.01% is something called amorphous silica. I want to say silicone, it's like, but I'm not sure. I just know that that's the other part that it's made up from. And I just thought to myself, well, if ever there was an ingredient on how to make a ghost, this would be it. Awesome stuff. I love it. Just go check it out. And it was developed in 1930, and I'm only hearing about it now. And developed by the US government, by the way, just so you know. All right, so being a South African channel, we have the next video based on the Babsfontein ghost. Check it out.
The R25 Babsfontein Road is used by many drivers daily. There have also been years and years of unfortunate accidents recorded on that road. But some believe that at least some of those accidents occurred due to the paranormal. Multiple people have reported seeing a woman appearing out of thin air, trying to cross the road. The driver then loses control of the vehicle due to swerving unexpectedly and rolling the car. This happened to one driver who then reported that a few days after the accident, he saw another car in the exact same spot where his accident was. Stopping to assist the driver, he claimed that a woman had jumped in the road. He also tried to swerve out of the way and lost control of his vehicle. Who could this ghostly woman be, risking the lives of those on that road? Some believe her to be a victim of a hit and run, who replays what happened to her over and over again. Others believe she is angry over what happened and is looking for revenge on all drivers who dare pass through there in the early hours of the morning. Either way, next time you travel on that road, be on the lookout for the specter and rather keep an eye on your speed.
Speaking
You
of,
wouldn't want to be her next victim.
there you go. Sorry, I interrupted you. Speaking of scary South African stuff, by the way, before we go to the next video, this woman that causes trouble on the road with drivers is what looks like to be a worldwide phenomenon. This woman in the white dress, there's examples of this all over the world. And I'm curious why. I'm curious why it's a common phenomenon all over. Anyway, speaking of South African creepy stuff, check out this next video. I think we finally caught the Tokolosh. Now, there's a lot of AI out there, so I can't tell if this is real or not, but I've looked at this video over and over again. It is creepy AF, but maybe you guys can shed some light on this one. It's weird, right? Okay, for the next one, and my last video for this episode, I thought we'd end on a positive note. You know how I am with that. And I just want to reiterate what an amazing invention, is that the right word? Our bodies are one of the most amazing creations ever. And I'm not just saying that from a biblical perspective. I'm talking technological. We got to be kinder to ourselves. We got to speak better to ourselves. And instead of saying, oh, I feel so old, my body's not coping like it used to, stop doing that and rather praise your body. Not only does your body deserve that positive talk, it also impacts you better, it positively. You actually, it's good for you, is what I'm trying to say. Speak nicely to yourself. Be kind. And here's why.
So this is pretty fascinating. What you're looking at is a white blood cell roaming around all the red blood cells and checking for any abnormalities, right? Harmful organisms. And what's interesting about this is I remember in health class when I heard that the white blood cells regulate the red blood cells. I don't know what I thought, you know? I just thought they were kind of like chilling, like off-duty cops. And then when something happens, they ran up to it or something, ran up to it. But this is very interesting because it looks like it's like checking on, you know, it's just like filing through. Hey, what's up, y'all? You good over here? Everybody, all right, we straight. It's like literally like patrolling. And it's just crazy. Like this is just going on in here. Every time you sneeze, start to get sick, I just imagine it with like a little flashlight being held by a blood cell hand and just looking around, you know. We good? Any drugs in here? Okay, you good? You've been drinking tonight? You know, like just, it's very human. And again, might be common knowledge to everybody else, but I don't know what I thought, but I didn't think this. I didn't think it was just patrolling like this. But hey, next time you get over being sick, just know that your little off-duty security guards, they were on duty. They were doing their duty.
Now, isn't that exactly what we do for each other in society? Hey, how are you doing? How's your day been? This is what I love about the human body. If you look at the different aspects of the human body, a lot of it's what you see under a microscope is duplicated in nature. And like this is one of those examples that I feel should be mentioned. Just like that white blood cell checking up on all the red blood cells. Are you okay? Are you doing all right? How are you doing? How's your day been? Are you functioning as you should? I feel like I think we have that in our own society. We have friends. You know, you have that one friend that's always like, how are you? Are you okay? Are you sure? How are you feeling? Oh, you're not feeling so great? Well, what can I do for you? Can I suggest this? Can I advise this? Can I bring you some soup? Call them your blood cell friends. We got to look out for one another, especially during these times. Anyway, that's it. That's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that. I shared my little algorithm with you. I hope you managed to get some entertainment out of that. And yeah, I shall see you again soon. And don't forget, stay curious.